For Filipinos, you probably know this object I'm going to show you. This is many times our best friends. The Filipino tabo. If you're not if you're not from the Philippines and you're watching this, if you are Filipino, then definitely this is something that you probably have in your house, or most likely have in your house. And the reason why I show this, basically, there's a point to be made. The conversation that I wanted to really have today with this video is goal setting and the importance of being consistent in not just setting goals but actually hitting those goals. And the reason why that's an important conversation, I believe, now is because we're in the second month of the year, February. We're halfway through February. You see, many times when people set goals for the year, we have New Year's resolutions, we have faith goals. We want to do this. We want to become more healthy. We want to grow our business. We want to finally start our business. We want to get a promotion, and all of these goals are on our minds for the start of the year, and for a very big portion of January, that's what we focus on that, and then that's amazing. That's good. But towards February, and especially towards the end of February, many of those goals kind of fall through the cracks, and a lot of those goals actually never see the light of day of March. Many of us today, we see that as the norm. Now, it's okay to have New Year's resolutions and then forget about them by February. But I don't think that that should be the case. We all want to be successful. We want to grow in our careers. We want to have better relationships. We want to have better health. And the only way you're going to achieve that is if you become consistent on your goals, and that you don't give up on your goals. If you're watching this video, I want you to know, please do not give up on your goals. Kiko, I know that, and I understand that. It's easy to say, but it's very hard to do. Yesterday, we had a long water interruption here in our subdivision, and so we actually didn't have water for a very big portion of the day. So we set aside water for everything. When you're taking a bath with a tabo, it's very discouraging, especially if the weather is very cold. And that was indeed the case yesterday. It was raining. It was very cold here in Bacolod City. Lahat tayo nagiging kambing. We become like goats. We don't want to take a bath anymore. When I was struggling with that in the morning, am I going to take a bath, or should I just give myself another 30 minutes? Kind of reminded me of our situation right now with our goals and our resolutions. Now, in some way or another, we know we have to focus on them. We know we have to do something about it, but it's just really so hard to do. What do you do in situations like that? You want to finish 2022 strong. But see, goal setting is not enough. Goal setting will get you started, but throughout February until December, you need one thing, and that's execution. I like what Robin Sharma once said, ideation without execution is delusion. And when you hear that, you realize today how many people today are so delusional, because they have so many good ideas, they have so many good goals, but they don't find it in them. They don't find it easy. They have a big challenge when it comes to the execution side. It's not always easy to start. So I wanted to discuss with you actually the 3 phases of coming out of a funk and actually getting over that period where you're no longer focusing on your goals. So there are actually 3 phases to that. The first phase is the slump phase. The second is the dump phase. And then the third phase is the pump phase. So slump, dump, pump. Let's go through them one by one. The first phase is the slump phase. You know, those are the moments where you don't feel like, taking a bath because it's so cold. You don't feel like going to the gym. You're not excited about Monday. You have this client meeting, but you don't show up for a client meeting. I'm pretty convinced that every single person on this planet will experience a slump. No matter how motivated they may seem, no matter how excited and how passionate they may seem about what they do and what they want to achieve and the goals that they have in life, we all have those moments where we don't feel like doing it. We don't feel like running. We don't feel like having that Zoom meeting, or we don't feel like going to that coaching session that we have. If you are going through that, number one, don't feel bad, because we all go through that. And so kasi minsan what happens is when we go through that slump, the reason why we can't go over it, which is phase 2, is because we feel this sense of guilt and shame. Nakakahiya naman. I'm sure that many people out there are very motivated. I'm sure that many people out there, they're excited about what they're doing. They're achieving so many things. That guilt, what it does is it makes us feel paralyzed. And it causes us to just give up on whatever goals you have. You look at your financial goals. I'm gonna save 5,000 a month, and then this month hindi ka nakapag-save. And so what happens is you go into that slump phase and you become status quo. Nothing changes. How do you get over that phase? I think the most important thing we need to understand is that you need to understand first what the next phase is. And the next phase is the dump phase. Going back to my tabo illustration, what's the dump phase? When you put the tabo in the water and then you lift it over your head and then you shock your body with one big bucket full of ice cold water, the next buckets of water don't feel as bad anymore. That's the dump phase. The time that you just have to get over that one big splash of water. You just need to get over that first push. Kasi every single time we look at goals, let's say for example, you're planning to save 100,000 pesos this year. You look at 100,000 pesos and it's very scary to look at. Because 100,000 pesos, a lot of money. But if you think about it in terms of, okay, from 100,000 pesos, break it down into weekly pieces. Go from 52 weeks. That's just around 2,000 pesos a week. So if you actually get over the 100,000 and focus on the small dumps, no, the 2,000 pesos that you put every single week, it actually becomes easier. This book called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Your brain, the human brain, only has 5 seconds before it actually kills a good idea. So for example, you have this idea na you want to get up in the morning. First thing we do when we wake up in the morning is we pick up our phone, we scroll on Facebook, and the next thing you know, you lost 30 minutes of your time. Now, it's easy for us to say na I want to get over that. And in principle, if that's your goal, then that's on your mind. But when you're in the moment, when you just woke up, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and then your phone's right there, it's so convenient, and then you're reading all your news, and then you're seeing all your notifications, and then you think to yourself, I have to get up. What the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins teaches is you actually have 5 seconds to do something about it before your brain puts it back into the back burner. And so what's the best way for us to get over that? In the next 5 seconds, take that first one small step. And this is very important. One small step. I'm not talking about, going and running 15 kilometers today. I'm not talking about looking at your bank account and then setting aside 50,000 pesos and then just worrying about the remaining 50,000 for the rest of the year. Kasi if it's too big, sometimes we don't go over that dump. Sometimes it just takes one tabo of water for you to actually finish the whole bath. You don't have to think about the rest of the day. You don't have to think about the shampoo and the scrubbing and the facial wash and all of that. You just have to think about that one big dump. That's the second phase, the dump. So the question is right now, in your goals, what is one dump that you can go over or you can accomplish today? Maybe that one dump is just to register the business. Maybe for you that goal is to buy a house and you're thinking about the 3 to 5 million pesos that you have to pay. Maybe sometimes it's just a matter of going online and actually looking for 3 to 4 choices. Maybe you're thinking about recording a video and you're thinking, nako, I have to create a YouTube channel. It has to get to 1,000, 5,000 subscribers. Maybe instead of doing that, why don't you just focus on just one video? That's the dump. Get over that dump, and I'm sure that the next phase, the pump, will feel a lot easier compared to having to think about the big picture all the time. Now, sometimes when you're trying to get over the dump, the passion actually comes in the first phase, the pump. And what's the pump? That pump basically is that small push that you have just to make sure that you don't lose momentum. Parang ganito yan, you're driving, and one thing that we do, my wife and I, we like taking long drives. And when we're usually driving out of town, you have those moments na nasa gear 5 ka na, the car is running at 100 kilometers per hour. You're not stepping on the gas as much anymore. Diba? When you're accelerating the car, your pedal is on the metal. Your foot is on that accelerator until you reach to a certain speed. But when you get to a good, comfortable cruising speed, you take your foot off the gas pedal. Why? Because now it's just a matter of just pushing it a little bit. Parang you're just making sure that you don't lose momentum. So in that moment, so that you don't lose momentum, just pump yourself. Just don't let go of the gas. I think that's the most important principle here. The pump sometimes could just be like a small notification, a small reminder. Like one thing that I like to do is I like to set up reminders for myself on my Google Calendar that from this time to this time I'm going to write content. From this time to that time I'm going to take meetings. From this time to that time I'm going to run. Even my devotionals, my time when I read my Bible every morning, there's a notification, a reminder for that. Those are the small pumps that you have. It can be a phone notification. If you're kind of old school, then sometimes it can be a journal, checking your journal every now and then. That's your pump. That's the habits that you build. The small bits that you can spread across the day that is not a big event, but it's just a matter of reaching out and picking up a journal or open up your Google Calendar or putting a reminder on your phone. Those little pumps can actually make sure that you keep that momentum. All of this really, it's all about executing. I know that you had big plans. And sana wag naman nawala ngayon. But if you did have big plans January, I encourage you to go back and visit them. And ask yourself the question, what can I do today? Small bits of small wins today so that I can get back into those momentum. If you want to lose 20 pounds, then sometimes maybe it's just a 10-minute walk. Or sometimes if you're thinking about writing your book and then you finish your book, then sometimes it's just writing one paragraph. And then you continue get over that dump, and you keep on pumping. Next thing you know, that dump, you've gotten over that dump. Now you're just pumping and pumping. And when you finish all those phases, those goals that you have, you're going to be much, much closer to it by the end of the year. And I hope that all of us here today, you'll be able to achieve those goals. I hope that this video, this conversation has added value to you. If it has, then please feel free to subscribe. Click the button below, subscribe button, and then hit the bell notification so you'll know that there's new content coming out. Don't give up on your goals. Sayang naman kasi I'm sure that those goals will do amazing things for you. Instead, sometimes all you have to do is just get over the slump, take that dump, and then keep on pumping. Once you do that, you're gonna achieve your goals. Thank you. See you next time.